So I have Kristina with me, who's one of my fellow co-authors for the book Unstoppable.
Hello.
And we were just chatting about how we're asked to do things and how it's often wise to center in and feel, is this something I should be doing? I know when I was invited to be part of a co-authored book, I was like, what? I don't really want to write anything. But when I tuned in, it was like, yes, you need to tell some stories about your life and they can help people. And then I'm like, well, I go to my higher power, I call him God, and I'm like, okay, God, if you want this to happen, then um, I need to have you help me know that. And there was a price point that went along with being part of the book. And I said, hey, if you want this to happen, have that amount of money to come this week. And the exact amount of money came. And then I was like, okay, I hear you. But that
Message,
doesn't mean, wow, this isn't going to be easy. But I
messages.
knew that I had been called to to do this because it would help me grow and hopefully serve other people too. So, Christina, can you tell me how you heard about this project and how you got into saying yes to it? What sparked your interest in
So
participating?
initially, I had kind of the same hesitations when the opportunity arose. It arose because I started to actually try and conquer one of my hugest struggles in life, and that is public speaking. Believe it or not,
Well, good job.
um, I would have panic attacks, like, and I know my stuff. I know my stuff, but in work and all this. And I just said, I'm not going to let this make me a victim. Really. I believe that, bad stuff happens to people, and you can either choose to be a victim or you can choose to be a victor. And so when I come up to those challenges and struggles in life, I really try to face those head on and say, you know what? I'm going to be victorious over this, right? And so I started, well, I'm a recent empty nester. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but and I didn't know what really to do with all this extra time I seem to have, right? So I started giving back. I've always loved to give back to the community, whatever that be. I was highly involved in the church and the Girl Scouts and all these things while my children were growing up. But now, me as a adult, right? Without children now, not really without them, because never without them.
You're never
But
without them. It's like, who am I when I'm not just, when you focus so much on your children and
yeah,
that's your identity. Motherhood is the identity for those of us that have chosen that path. It's hard to broaden into a new identity of this and this.
right.
Our children will always be part of us. We're going to always love them and we'll
Absolutely.
always have their back.
Yes, for sure, for sure. But I had found myself with all this extra time. So I started giving back to my project management community. I am a project manager at a nationwide healthcare organization, and I've been a
Okay.
project manager for healthcare coming up on what, 20 years ish. And I've done huge projects and small projects, but I had opportunity to speak at a Project Management Institute conference in San Diego last September. And from that, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she said, hey, I know somebody and they have this opportunity for this book. And I think that I want to connect you. So she connected me to Alexandria, and Allie and I had this conversation, and she said, I think you would be a really good fit for this collaboration. And the title of the book is Unstoppable: The Rise of Female Global Leaders. And I was like,
I
do
think
I?
that tagline is like, whoa.
Like, have I earned that title? Like, but then I really started thinking about my journey, how I grew up, the struggles I faced, and where I'm at today. I made huge accomplishments. It wasn't easy. So I think that my participation in the book is more to just tell my story and maybe encourage others to choose to be a victor rather than a victim. You know, I always tell my children, and anybody close to me, they know I have this 80-20 rule. My 80-20 rule is that 80% of society exists and 20% of society participates. So I always would tell my children, I'm like, I need you to be the 20. You need you to be the 20. It will only benefit you. And I think
Actively participate in life.
actively participate, guide the direction of your life. Bad stuff happens. We can either sit in it and be a victim and complain and just be there. And that's okay because I think there is value in that for a short period, right? But I think we need to be that 20 and participate and pull ourselves out of the victimhood. And so that's kind of what my story is about.
What did you title it?
From pebbles to prosperity.
Oh,
And
that's,
actually, I was assisted in that title because I really didn't know what to call it. But Allie helped me. We were talking through some stuff, and she really was a great support and helped me come up with that. So yeah,
with my title, I chose mine to be Make Anything Possible because my, makes me want to cry. My backstory is one of, yeah, it, many of our age have grown up with fathers that were heavy-handed in their parenting styles, and that's what they had been
yeah,
brought up as, and so that's how they raised their children. And so the style of my father was very kind of shattering to my sensitive nature. He wouldn't necessarily be saying things to me, but I would feel it, and I just would continue to shrink, 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 turn off my voice, be invisible. And this turning into being able to be seen, oh my gosh, that was so hard. Being able to have a voice, oh my word, not easy at all. And my journey of health is a tremendous one.
me too.
It's
Yeah,
just so many of my body systems did not function well because of the environment plus my gene codes. I lived downwind from a hazardous plant waste, and having a body that didn't detoxify correctly, those two things don't mix well.
yeah, yes,
And
yeah,
so trying to move through that, it it's a miracle. It's a miracle that I function so well. It's a miracle that I can serve. It's a miracle that um, I've learned the techniques that can help other people get their brain turned on and their
yeah.
bodies functioning. It's just, um, yeah, it's really wonderful.
That is
I'm
that's
excited to share the story and share techniques with other people.
yes. I would be. I'm definitely interested in hearing some of your techniques too. Yeah, I can very much relate to your story because I had the same thing. I grew up as a military brat. You said yes when you wanted to hear when they wanted to hear yes, no when they wanted to hear no,
Hmm.
and it didn't matter if it was the truth or not. That
Oh,
was the
truth
expectation.
did not matter. Yeah, yeah.
Right,
Mm-mm.
right. And I don't know if that's necessarily something associated with the military. Maybe that's just me
No,
projecting,
my
but
father was not military, but that's the way he was.
oh, maybe it's generational or
I,
just
it's it could
situational.
it's generational, but I mean, obviously the military aspect makes it. Well, okay, he was a civilian that worked on a military base.
Ah,
Oh.
so there was military influence there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
So, so yeah, I completely relate to your story, and yeah, I look forward to spending more time with you and connecting and learning some of your techniques, and maybe we can share techniques back and forth.
yes, that'd be wonderful. How about we end with just a little breathing practice, um, and and then we can say goodbye for now.
That sounds great.
Okay, so put your hand on your heart area, soften your face, and just breathe in as if you can breathe in light from the top of your head. And if you could put a hand on your belly and feel that expand as well. And as you breathe out through your mouth and relax your muscles. We're going to do that 3 more times, long and deep. Relaxing as the belly gets larger and breathing out through the mouth. What we're doing right now is bringing the brain from the amygdala back brain part to the forefront of the brain by being conscious of our breath. And what happens is the happy hormones can start flowing as you consciously choose to breathe. And then if you add a little picture of you being okay and all is well, add that little visual while you do 2 more breaths. And with that visual, I really can feel some of the tingling going through my body, which is evidence of some of those hormones starting to saturate my tissues. Could you feel a little bit of a shift with just a little bit of mindful breathing?
Yes, very much so. Much
You know,
more peaceful and not as tense.
yeah, being mindful, and I teach other aspects more than that, but yeah, let's say goodbye right now, so this isn't too long for our listeners, and
Okay.
hope everyone has a lovely day.